Welcome to the final part of Resident Evil 4 in virtual reality. We're going to load a save. Last time, we became Plaga-free. We did our own research and came to our own conclusions. Thank you very much. And we're going to load a game because even though we're Plaga-free, Leon and Ashley have not escaped from Sadler's Island yet. Alright, here we are. Phew, thank God it's out. And there you are, looking concerned. Nothing to be concerned about, because we did it. These readouts. Well, we gotta feel good about that, because next time we encounter Sadler and he does this, he does that with his hand, it's not gonna do anything. Because we don't have the Plagueis anymore. Speaking of which, Ashley, this is a pretty short chapter. This is the final chapter, actually. All of the proper stages have been done. And there's only one more thing for us to do. Well, first, let's take a look at this. It's our mission. That was the wrong button. That's fine. Let me go to the files. There it is. Our mission. The real power of the United States lies in three areas: the Justice Department, the administrative bodies, and the military. In order to take control of these areas, we must influence the minds of the people who advise the president. After this is done, the rest of the departments will quickly fall under our sway. If by chance the United States were to figure out our plan, the damage caused should be minimal. We will still be able to conquer the country as planned using our backup plan. Once we control the country, we will use their international influence to our advantage. The rest of the world will fall swiftly. As already stated, if our first plan doesn't go as smoothly as expected, we'll proceed with our secondary plan. By sending in our special forces, we will infiltrate the country from within. Fear and chaos will spread through the nation like a virus. It'll only be a matter of time before the country loses its stability. At that time, when they're most vulnerable, we will strike. Rejoice, my brethren. The world shall soon be cleansed. Well, this is their plan, but I guess we kind of already knew this plan, didn't we? Ashley was going to get sent back with a parasite in her, and then that would parasitize, the president and people around the president and people in positions of power. But I guess this is just the formal missive written by Sadler, stating what their plan exactly is. Just left it lying here. You'd think it was a more important document than that, Ashley. To the construction yard. Oh yeah, Ashley. Final boss fight's gonna take place up there. Can we see Sadler from here? I don't think we can see him from here, but he's up there. He's waiting. Hey, here's our friend. Look who's here. Anything else? Oh, there's a typewriter. All right. It's been a great relationship, but this is the final time we will be buying anything from the merchant.
Welcome. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
Never will he whip his coat open in front of us again.
What are you selling?
What do we have to sell? Nothing. Got no treasure since last time.
What are you buying?
Well, actually, before we look at tuning up anything...
What are you buying?
Yeah, he does have a rocket launcher, but I don't have space for that. Hold on a second.
Come back anytime.
We might as well use that rocket launcher, right? Alright, I haven't been using the rifle much. So I think we're going to just sell that rifle. I only bought it really to try on the regenerators, and I got to use it that one single time. Let's see, can I... There? Yeah, there we go. Green RY in my consumable slot. Just get a little extra space down there. Yeah, like that. Can put that there and get the Magnum. No, Magnum needs more space than that. Well, I don't need the scope anymore either, so I'll be able to sell that. Put that up there. Okay.
What are you selling?
Let's put the rifle here. Get that rifle down there.
Ah, I'll buy it at a high price.
All right, let's sell that. Goodbye, rifle.
Thank you. What are you buying?
Give me the biggest gun you have.
Stranger. Now that's a weapon.
There we go.
Thank you.
Get that in there. All right. Yep. Ashley, check it out. Actually, Ashley has not seen this one, have you? Well, have not had the opportunity to use this much. I used this twice. You were not there for either of those times. One time was... First time was Verdugo, that's right. I froze him in the liquid nitrogen, and he was all like... And he couldn't move because he was in liquid nitrogen. I'm just like, here's a big kiss. And then I shot him in the face, Ashley. Shot him in the face with this. And, right, second time was Salazar. That was fun because I meant to, like, one-shot him with that. And I'm like, do this. There we go. And then, like, I missed him, Ashley. I missed him. It went, like, right by him, then hit the wall behind him, and he was like, ah, because he got hurt. But he was not hurt all the way. Like, if I hit him right in the face with it, that would have been a one-hit kill. But it did a lot of damage, actually. It wasn't a waste. It did hurt him a lot. Those are the only two times I've actually had the opportunity to use this. Which is more than many Resident Evil games. Like in the first Resident Evil game, the only time you ever use a rocket launcher or bazooka, whatever you might want to call it, was at the end of the game when you fight the Tyrant. And like the helicopter's flying overhead, and Jill's running around trying to escape the Tyrant. And then Brad drops the rocket launcher down to the ground, and he's like, Jill, you're an Amazon, you can do it. And then Jill grabs it, and then like aims it at the Tyrant, and then there's like, when she shoots it, you see it like multiple times. It's like, and then like you see the Tyrant get hit with it multiple times. It's very dramatic, actually. So because of that, that became sort of a tradition for the end of a Resident Evil game to feature a rocket launcher. Now, this is a rocket launcher I've been able to use earlier in the game. So this is not the end game rocket launcher, but it is a rocket launcher, Ashley. It's a rocket launcher. Ashley, I don't know why you're still afraid. You know very well Leon S. Kennedy has had weapons training. He is to be trusted when it comes to dangerous weapons like this. You don't need to be afraid about it, Ashley. You don't need to be afraid of the rocket launcher. Can you believe she is still... Well, maybe we'll just ignore that. Was there anything else I wanted to do?
What are you buying?
The exclusive firepower on TMP. What was that?
Stranger.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Might as well max out the TMP. We're right here at the end. Striker. Ammo capacity. Sure.
Thank you.
Max that out. And don't see any up arrows for anything else, so I guess everything else is done. Remember, Ashley, rocket launchers, very dangerous weapons, not to be fooled around with. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to our friend. I assume you find a way off the island before it blows up. He's a survivor. He can find his way. Let's head on down to this elevator up here.
Something's not right. Ashley, you stay here.
My Leon sense is tingling.
Ada! Better try a new trick, cause that one's getting old. You okay?
I've been better.
What's so funny?
Oh, I think you know. The American prevailing is a cliché that only happens in your Hollywood movies. Oh, Mr. Kennedy, you entertain me. To show my appreciation, I will help you awaken from your world of clichés.
Ada, stand back.
The elevator can sense that it's time for a boss fight. It's locked down. Alright, let's give him what he wants.
Use this!
Okay, that's the real endgame rocket launcher. I had the not endgame rocket launcher, now that's the serious one. These lights are flashing because those bridges will go out. I mean, we could get that rocket launcher, but we might as well just see what else is in the environment here. Like, we could go up here, like, grab this lever, pull it down when he gets close, and then kaboom, there we go. And the idea is that you're supposed to keep what? Got on it as it was falling. The idea is that you're supposed to do damage until Ada appears with the rocket launcher. Call back to Resident Evil 2. No, he's gonna toss one. Alright, this is the special rocket launcher. I believe you can kill him without using the special rocket launcher if you just do enough damage to him in his eyeball weaknesses. I guess Ada was up over there. I mean, we could do that, but we might as well use the rocket launcher to get our special animation. I like how his human body's just hanging there underneath this, what he's turned into. Like, the human body is still there. Like with the other Plagas, with the other enemies. Well, let's knife him. Let's see what that's like. Okay, we don't get any special VR thing for knifing him in the eyeball. We did with El Gigante when we stabbed his Plaga. Sorry. Right, like with the other Plagas, you know, the Plagas emerges out of their head and their human body is still there. Same thing with Sadler. His body is still there. Like all this, whoops, just bursting out of his head. Gulp, gulp, gulp. I wonder if my health is maxed out. No, my health never maxed out my health, it seems. Or he's just... Oh, hold on. Alright, he's falling down. Let's give him the old special rocket launcher.
Sorry, Leon. Hand it over.
Ada, you do know what this is.
Don't worry. I'll take good care of it.
Ada!
Gotta go. If I were you, I'd get off this island too.
She really pushed it.
Here, catch. Better get a move on. See you around.
Very cute.
Emergency system has been deactivated. Once again, Ada did not wait. Well, goodbye, special rocket launcher. Alright, Ada didn't wait. She took the sample. But at least we have Sadler's, his gold bars. I mean, honestly, we don't really need his gold bars at this point. Yep. Okay. We have a time limit. But gotta do it. Gave Sadler the biggest kiss of all. Kiss that big ol' eyeball. Give it the tongue. Anyway, we gotta go. Right, so Leon's mission was not to get the sample. It was to rescue Ashley. The sample is something that came up, but
Leon,
We have to get off this island now. It's gonna blow any minute.
it's gonna what?
yeah, she is not used to the idea of the place blowing up. I mean, Leon's got experience with this, but to most people, the place blowing up is kind of a weird thing. Right, so Ada's mission was to get the sample. She's completed her mission. But it's time for us to complete ours. I've been looking around for items. I don't need to find items. It's the end of the game. We got to the jet ski. Jet ski secured to the dock. You need a key to unlock it. Let's get on. Vroom vroom.
Hang on, sweetheart.
All right, grab. Okay, yep. There we go. That's what we want. We want to grab these handles. Want some VR jet skiing. How you doing, Ashley? Ashley, gonna hit this ramp.
Behind us!
I know. Just hold on.
Vroom. Gotta accelerate. I mean, we only have a few seconds left, Ashley. I don't know if we're gonna make that. Well, that solved it for us. It solved it for us, Ashley. I mean, we're right at the end of the mission. We can't let a little thing like a jet ski stop us from completing this mission. Vroom vroom.
Hang on, sweetheart.
I'm glad that they went the extra mile in making an actual, like, VR jet ski for this. They didn't have to do that, but I'm glad they did.
Behind us!
I know. Just hold on.
All right. Yeah, what's going on behind us? Yep, waves are coming. Waves are coming. Oh, the waves got us. I let go of the accelerator as I took the turn. the waves got to us. Ashley, I have to confess to you, Leon did not get jet ski training when he was training for the Secret Service. This is kind of a situation that never came up. They didn't think about this one, Ashley. They didn't think about this one, about having to make an escape from an exploding island via jet ski. You think they would have thought of everything? No, they did not. Maybe I need to just look down and see if my hands are still registered as being on the jet ski controls. I feel like my hands came off.
Hang on, sweetheart.
Put my hands, reorient my hands back on after the cutscene's over.
Wait! Behind us!
I know, just hold on.
Okay, my hands are still on. There we go.
Ashley! Ashley! Where are you?
Leon!
Come on. Let's go home.
Sounds like a great idea. Mission accomplished. Right, Leon?
Not quite. I still have to get you home safe.
So, who was that woman anyway?
Why do you ask?
Come on, tell me.
She's like a part of me I can't let go. Let's leave it at that.
And so, Resident Evil 4 comes to an end. Leon is leaving this unknown part of Europe, not anything that begins with S. A part of Europe no one knows where this is or what country it might be in. We'll never know. It's a mystery. I don't know how you would possibly decipher it. Also, the background images here are different. In every other version of the game, we got these little storybook pages showing the village back before it was infected and how the people lived there when they were just, regular people. And then Sadler came and started spreading the religion and injecting people. And, they probably removed that because they probably thought it would look bad to have to show the story of, and then the people in charge demanded that everyone get injected and then they turned into monsters. That's probably why the storybook pages are not here. As I've just realized that, as I was saying that out loud, that was probably a decision. That's probably why that decision was made. It didn't have that much. It had a different context back when RE4 first came out than it might have for a game coming out in the year 2021. A shame, because I really liked that little sequence at the end of the game, because, you know, the villagers are always monsters, all of them throughout the game. So then you get this, like, credit roll where you see the time when they weren't monsters and they were just regular people living their regular village lives. And then, you know, it's all tragic what happened to them. But I guess they felt maybe they didn't want to show that show this particular imagery in the year 2021, possibly. Also in the ending scene there, of course, Ashley's famous line about wanting to spend some overtime with Leon, that was removed. As any lines that could possibly be maybe a little flirty or maybe a little sexy were removed from the game. Apparently that came from Facebook as to why they wanted it removed. It's hard to say. I kind of feel like what that feels like to me. Oh, here's my rating. Rescue mission of President's daughter. 76% hit ratio, 958 enemies killed, 19 times killed. I mean, a lot of those times were Ashley being killed, but we're not going to tell the president that. We're not going to tell the president that we let his daughter get killed so many times. Clear time, 14 hours, 49 minutes, 33 seconds, which of course is much longer than it takes to complete Resident Evil 4, but I did, you know, mess around, as I like to do in VR. As I was saying, I feel like the removal of the flirty lines kind of feels like it comes from people who, I don't know, say, well, we can't have... People complain about that kind of thing nowadays, but really have no understanding as to why anyone complains about sexual content. Like, there's a feeling of we have to avoid people getting upset by that without having any understanding as to why anyone ever might get upset by any kind of... It's not even raunchy content. I can't even call it that. It was like a robot made that decision, I feel like. Which, you know, it's Facebook, so fair chance that is what happened, I would assume. I can buy the Infinite Launcher and the Matilda from the merchant. I've unlocked new costumes for Leon, Ashley, and Ada. There's so on the left is Ashley's alternate costume. I guess Leon flirting with Hunnigan, that's no good, but Ashley's costume here is fine. Yes, that is Ashley. That was in the original, Ashley's alternate costume. We have Leon's RPD costume and Ada's tactical costume from Assignment Ada, though Assignment Ada is not in this version of the game. I don't think the other costumes are in here. When this game, after the GameCube original, and this game was re-released on other systems, Leon got a very fancy-looking suit and hat, and Ashley got a medieval suit of armor, which was hilarious, because it made her invincible, and there was like a special animation for when she would jump off a high place and Leon would catch her, and he would hurt his back doing that. It was funny. I don't think that's in this version. I've unlocked professional mode. Yeah, this was on normal. It was I shouldn't say very easy, because I did die a few times, but it was a much easier game in VR than the original was, so I would be interested in seeing professional mode. Let's see, the typewriter's gold! This is my New Game Plus typewriter. No overtime for Leon and Ashley. And that's it. Back to the title screen we go with Resident Evil 4 in VR. I found this to be an excellent port. It was a whole lot of fun. Really, really enjoyed playing this. This is now kind of, I think, the gold standard of a VR port of a non-VR game. Like, this is going to be the thing that games are held up to, I think. This is the high watermark. Resident Evil 4 It's an all-time classic. Loved it when it first came out, and I really, really enjoyed it playing it now in VR. Even though the VR, of course, completely busted the difficulty balance of the game. I mean, that's not even a question. Being able to do the things you can do in the VR game just completely annihilates the difficulty, making pinpoint accurate shots, which was much harder to do in the original. Trivial this time. Like, at the end there, when I was shooting Sadler's eyeballs in his legs, I remember in the original version playing with an analog stick, making those shots is pretty difficult. This was just no problem. Just, boom, boom, yes, no issues. No problems at all. And I think that's for the best. I think that giving you a lot of these kinds of abilities and, increasing how much of what you can do in VR, I think is the right move. Even though it destroys the difficulty, it does increase the fun by a whole lot. This was a whole lot of fun to play. It's a tremendous amount of fun. I enjoyed the whole thing from beginning to end, and I just was really excited to record a playthrough of this when it came out in October. This is technically part of the October horror VR games. Remember, I was doing horror VR games in October. This one lasted a lot longer outside of October, but technically this is the final of the October games, so I hope you enjoyed these horror games for the month of October. Ending with for Resident Evil, press any button. I enjoyed playing it a lot, and even though I'm sure this video will be named Final, I should mention that Oculus did. I guess I shouldn't say Oculus because it's not actually called Oculus anymore. It's the Meta Quest, which is they're the VR market leader. Why would you change your name? Anyway, it's a bad name change. It's a bad name change. Anyway, I should mention that they did announce that next year they are going to be releasing an update with The Mercenaries. So even though that was not in the launch version of this game, that will be coming out. There will be Mercenaries. Don't know when it's coming out, just that it's sometime next year. When it does, I'm sure I will do a video on that, record some Mercenaries gameplay. And considering that they're doing that, that does open up the possibility, hey, maybe, just maybe, they might also release Assignment Ada and Separate Ways as well. Hopefully all of the Resident Evil 4 content could make it into the VR game eventually, even if it isn't right now. I hope it does, and if it does, I'll be recording it. So, once again, I hope you've enjoyed this playthrough of Resident Evil VR. I had a tremendous amount of fun playing it, and also reliving the wonderful story. This is the kind of Resident Evil story I do like it because it doesn't get too far up its own ass. Some Resident Evil games tend to do that. I feel that 4, it's not a horror game 4. I do also like the more horror-oriented ones, like the original Resident Evil and RE7. But as far as the action REs go, I do like how they keep it light and they keep it simple in RE4. It has a great cast of characters, both heroes and villains. I do like Sadler, how he's a villain who only appeared in this one game. Unlike some RE characters, he's not recurring, but he's one of the most memorable villains. He's jolly. He has a good humor about him the whole time. Like at the end, in the final confrontation with Leon, after Leon's destroyed all of his soldiers, just killed everyone in the village and the castle, killed Mendez, killed Salazar, all that. Sadler's still like, oh, Mr. Kennedy, you entertained me. He's just like having a good time. He's completely unjustified in being so confident at that point, but he's having a good time. I feel like after he was killed, and then Ada took the sample and got away, as Leon's leaving, Sadler should have gotten up again and said, "Oh, Mr. Kennedy, how strange that you have this sort of unwarranted confidence." And, like, he can't move. He's just, like, wriggling around on the ground. "You haven't won yet, Mr. Kennedy." And then Leon's leaving, going down the elevator because the time limit for the bomb is going, and you can hear in the distance Sadler saying, "Oh, running away, are we? What happened to the brave American?" And he just keeps doing that until the island blows up. I don't know, I feel like that would be in character for him. I do enjoy the villains in this game. Very memorable, very personable. And I don't know, yeah, everything about RE4, when the original came out, everything about it just came together perfectly. And I feel like the VR version came out better than I thought a VR version of this game could possibly be. It's a very different philosophy in what they did here than with RE7. Well, I mean, different people did it. Capcom themselves made the VR mode for RE7, and it was Armature Games who made this VR port of Resident Evil 4. Very different mindsets. RE7's about being scary and creeping around and trying to, like, run away from Jack and all that. This is just complete action, juggling guns, throwing grenades with your hands. It's just very different in how they treated a VR version of this than how RE7 was treated. And I much prefer this. RE7, I felt that they just didn't know what they were doing with the VR controls. And I couldn't get into it because of that. I really liked RE7 playing it normally, playing with a mouse and keyboard, but I felt like the controls for the VR version is just so bad. I don't think many people agree with that, because a lot of people say that RE7 VR is tremendous, and I just didn't think it was. I thought it controls horribly. But this, RE4 VR, controls like a dream. And this is going to be a game that I can tell I'm going to be going back to play it many times, just little short bursts here and there, as I, like, once again, just really, really enjoyed playing this game now in VR. And, you know, if they wanted to port other older games to VR, I would definitely be interested in checking those out. I don't know what, in terms of Resident Evil, I don't know what they would port. The idea of maybe porting, like, RE1, like, remake, I don't know if that's even possible, because they would need to, like, redo all of the environments in real time, because that's pre-rendered. But I think a VR port of remake would probably be a dream VR game for me. I doubt that'll happen, but who knows? RE4 VR has apparently sold very well, so, you know, fingers crossed. I can't cross. Fingers crossed. There we go. That's crossing some fingers. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough of Resident Evil 4 VR. I hope you enjoyed seeing through Leon Kennedy's eyes, and I'll see you around for some, I don't know, some other time for another VR game. I don't know when that'll be. Usually I've just been doing these in October now, but maybe next October we'll be doing more VR horror. So I'll see you then.